around. Hi everybody, can you let me know if you can hear me? And also I can see who's around. Hello. Hi. There's a lot of people who are here for the first time. Who else have we got? Hello. Can you hear me? I can see all your comments, which is good. There's, unfortunately, I can't see how many of you are in the comments. Oh, brilliant. You can hear. Oops, just move that. You can see that I've put the color palette in shot, so it just gives you a little time to review your pens and have them ready. Whilst we are waiting, how has everybody's day been? Back from work, seen some names that are regulars, which is fantastic. We've had a lot of new people. I'm sure you've seen from the hellos, and there's a few more people who've joined in the past couple of days, so that's brilliant. So what time? Usually I wait till about 5 minutes in, so another 2-3 minutes just to give people you know, a bit of time to come and join us. So who's ready to relax? And so this is going to be for about an hour. Ah, yes, myself and Christine did a one-to-one, didn't we, Christine? It was just the two of us, I think, and it was quite nice, wasn't it? So say if it's just one of us, you know, two of us go, we will still do the session. Because not really a session, really. It's just a time to sit here and color together and learn off each other. Remember, if you see that I'm doing something you can't see, because it's for us to color together, if you can't see it and you need me to zoom in or zoom out, just drop a note in the comments and I'll make the changes. And also, if I'm doing something, you think, oh, I've got another technique that time, you know, that I do in this time, then please stick it in the comments again so that we share. It's not all just about me sharing my thoughts on how I do stuff. It's also for all of us to share as well. So there's a few people joining us, a few more people, but I think what we'll do is we'll get going because we can still talk about the pens and bits and pieces like that, and we'll give people time as well to join us. So you can see here that I've got 3 different palettes, really, call them like that, that I'm going to be using this evening. This morning we didn't get round to doing the leaves And I'm not sure if we're going to do the same tonight. I don't think we're going to be able to get through to that. So I will do an evening session of us going through the leaves, possibly next week now. I don't want it to be too long, because this month is the poppy is the prize challenge. So that's the reason why I want to start running sessions that relate to the prize, because it's not about how good your ticks and the best one wins. It's more about share your work and you're in for the prize. Literally, that's all you have to do. So let's move on and mind you what I posted and what we're going to be looking at tonight. So if you remember, this is what I posted with this session on what we're going to actually color. So I'm going to be picking small parts, because if I like a petal, the smallest petal, and I was choosing the smallest leaves. Well, like I said, we didn't get a chance this morning, so I'm guessing we're still not going to have a chance this evening, because as you know, I'm not rushing this. I'm going to go as, tell me to slow down if I'm going too fast. But I'm not going to go any faster because I want to give everybody a chance to color along. That's the whole point of this, is that we are coloring along together. So this morning, what we looked at was creating this petal. So this evening, we're going to look at creating this petal. And what we're going to be focusing on is the shades, as well as the how to create the dew, another version. There's all different ways. I just found this way that I thought was nice to share. So we're looking at the shadows. Again, when you go through the course, you'll know that we're not looking at light direction, which was like, yes, for me. We're looking at more about shading and how things against each other, what shadow they create. So as I said, we're going to be looking at this one. So I'm just going to pull out what we did this morning and focus down on where we're going. So as I said, this morning we covered this area here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to zoom in again. Let me know if I'm going into too close. Just have another look. Yes, I think that's fine. But again, just let me know if you think I'm too close. And the way that we're going to start is that we're going to look at saying or mapping where we want the dew to be first. So what I'm going to do is let me move this so I can see colors, so I tell everybody the right colors as I'm going along. So what we're going to do is that we're going to look at just placing, as I said, placing the dew where we want it to be. So we're doing this by, well, first of all, we're going to pick up the 178, and I'm just going to put mine here. So just create the shape you want your dew to be. This is only a guided shape. You can change it later on. So just going to make the shape like that. You can put it down here. Doesn't matter. You just decide where you'd like your dew to be. And then the other thing I found is that as I started colouring in, I lost it. I couldn't find it because it's blue and everything's blue. So what I did to help with that is that I used the pen 144, and I gently, the top of the tip, made a line around it, just around that blue, just to remind me that it's there. There we go. So you can, it will change literally, as we go and we create it. You'll see that it will start you know, it will start looking like it. I know it doesn't look anything like a dewdrop right now, but it will do. As you see, this is the one we did this morning. So I'm going to push that back. Now what we're going to do is focus on the petal itself and starting to create that. So again, as we've always done, we're going to look at starting with putting the base color down, which is pen number 8182. And we're going to color all of it, all of this bit here. So this, I've forgotten what this middle bit, please help me, community. Could you write down what they're called again? I've forgotten. Because they are filled in, they're all black, you can color over it. If they had little gaps, sort of white bits, I would tend to leave them and then put a color that I want in there. So for example here, I would put a color in here. I know I didn't do that for the sample, but I would put a color in here, literally because I forgot. I'm going to be truthful, I just forgot. So I'm going to continue doing this. And it doesn't matter where you start. I'm just starting down here. If you want to start around here, over here, on this bit, go for it. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. And also, turn your work however you feel comfortable in using it. And if you're new to using these pens tonight, or just new to starting the program, the way that I found most comfortable holding the pen is this way. You can see it's the part that's got this ridge rather than flat, because I just feel that I can hold it better. And also I'm holding it down closer to the nib down here rather than up here, because I feel that if I'm down here I've got better control. And the other tip is we always talk about the pressure. We don't want to press down too hard on our nibs, because there's no need to. So the way that I suggest you know, find your way, but one of the good ways of doing it is to bring your nib down, and as soon as you see the color, that's your pressure. So you can just start from the top and go down. And going round again. And I always say this, I end up squeezing the thing. I don't even know why. It just happens. I start squeezing it. So I always have to, it just happens. And I know some of you were saying that this happens to you as well. You just end up sort of squeezing it and then have to remind yourself to relax. I'm not doing anything wrong. It just happens. And I went through the course like yourselves. Some of you completed it, and some of you are just starting. And I've been doing it that whole time. Started from June last year, and I'm still squeezing it. So it's not something that, you know, that, oh, with time it disappears. Not in my case. I'm still squeezing the thing. See, I'm trying as much as possible to go up to the line and looking out for any white bits. In this case, we don't want to color any white, leave any white bits. And the other bit that I forgot to say was around here where we've got the dewdrop. Try and keep around the outside of it. If you go in a little bit, don't worry, we'll bring it more to the light again. so that you can see it. But you just have to be aware, if possible, where you've put your drop. I'm going to do this bit here. I'm going at an okay speed for everybody. They let me know. As I said, I don't want to be going too fast because it's about us all colouring together, not just me sitting in a corner having a whale of a time, which I am anyway. So now I'm going to be looking at where I'm going to be putting the shadows, where I want the shadows to be. And as I've said in the past, I don't make that pen go in, or that color go in too far. Although you can move the color, I prefer for me to have more control. I just feel that I've got more control if I start a little bit and then stretch it. So I'll show you what I mean. So the next color we're going to pick up is 216, and I'm going to start from down here. I'm just going to turn it, make it more comfortable for myself. And I'm going to be using the flick technique. So again, using the same principle, bring your pen down, and as soon, I know it's difficult in this bit here, but as soon, if you do this, the flicking motion as you're starting, and then as you can see, I'm starting to see the color. So once you see the color, that's your pressure. I'm just going to do down here. And now I'm going to look at here, because what I can see is that this part of the petal is folding inwards. So I want to give the feeling of this petal folding inwards and this part of the petal sort of curving outwards. And at this point as well, I want to think about where I want the lighter shading to be, just to bear in mind as I'm going along, and remind myself as well as I'm going along. So I'm thinking along here to begin with. It may change, but just to start with, I'm thinking along here. I want to think of it being my shaded part. So I'm going to start with that part of the petal that's folding inwards. So I'm going to turn it again. I'm going to turn it this way. Again, as you're going, you turn it. You may start halfway through it and think, oh, I need to turn it. You turn it how you feel comfortable doing it. So I'm going to start by doing the same, but very small, using the flick technique. You may find it easier to hold it more upwards. I'm just doing it like this. Actually, I might turn it the other way. See? You probably will be doing the same. Starting, I think, no, I want to change it. You may find that, you know, it's easy for you to hold it up like this, but I'm holding it sideways so that hopefully you can see. So I'm going to go all the way around here. And also think about the direction of the petal as you're putting it down, the color down, because it does show. You don't want to have lines going this way and that way, because it will look crossed, even though it sort of will become dry and might, you know, the color will come dry and come together. You will still see the strokes depending on what color you're using. So thinking about that, I'm going to go slightly that way because I can see that the petal is curving that down there. And I want some shade here. So again, I'm just looking at the way that the petal is. I'm going to start in the middle here. I think it will help to get that shape. The other thing that I tend to do as well is I'll start with my light color, and then I'll think about this as we've been doing here now. I'll think about where do I want the shading to be. So that's what my second color in the palette will do for me, is just start the process of me thinking, right, where are the shaded areas? So it sort of gets my focus. And I tend not to do these areas. You can see that I left these because I tend to think about that later on, because I'm looking at this petal, and this one here is behind this petal, and this petal is behind the petal that we're coloring in as well. So when you're creating shadows, remember that we want the shade to look as if one is creating a shade over the other, and the deeper the shade, the more it looks under. So to get the feeling of these two being underneath, I would need to make sure that the side of here is dark and close up, like we've been doing here, leaving no white, and over here. So I would, for it to stand out, I would need to make sure that these areas are not too dark. Otherwise, it will be difficult to see. It can be a little bit dark, so we won't go lower than, than this if possible. Deeper or darker than this. But that's the reason why I tend to leave that till near to the mid, when I feel I've got some idea of where I want the colors to be. So I'm going to do here, and again you can see that I'm going from the middle to the end. If you find it more comfortable going the other way, go the other way. And I'm going to stop there, because remember, putting the color like that will help it to have the make it visual, so that you can see that it's going to sort of bend over, sort of curve out. And this, as we're going along, you can see that yes, this is curved and it's over because there's a shadow. Again, I'm going to leave this until we come back, because again, like I said here, we want this to be lighter than this. There'll be some dark areas and areas where we'll have to sort of look at where we can create the shape, but I'm going to leave that. So now what I want to do is to smooth blend these areas in to begin with, before going in with the BG9, which is the darker one. So what I'm doing is I'm holding in my right hand the 216, just in case I need to pick up any color. So, and in my, well, if you're left, you hold it in your left hand, but I'm going to hold it in, sorry, if you're left, you're going to hold it in your right hand, but I'm going to hold in my left hand the 216, and I'm going to use my 182 to blend this bit in. And if I see that there's some bits that not blending in nicely, I can pick it up from here. So what we mean by picking up is that sometimes when you're doing this, let's see if I can exaggerate on this bit here. Oh, that didn't work. It blended in nicely. But let's say that didn't blend as nicely as we wanted. So we'll, as I was saying, we use the 128 to pick up from, in this case, the 216. So what I like to do is to hold the pen the same way and keep it that way, because we are picking up color from the other pen, so we'd need to clean it out. You won't see me doing that today. Naughty me. But I will, as I did this afternoon, I will clean it afterwards. So again, I'm going to do the same thing with my pickup pen. You can use the other side. Just pull it. This is still my 216, and use the flat end of the chisel end. Sometimes I do that actually, but for tonight I am going to use the brush nib. But the thing about using the flat end of the chisel, you can just turn it and clean it that way on a scrap piece of paper. So let me just put that back in. And the same thing, if you keep it on the same side, it means that you know which side it is, and you can turn it in this case and just scribble it out till you see the actual color. So let's go back to blending this. So we're only going to go from the end of the color that we laid down before, which is the 216, and pull it out. You don't want to go all the way in, because remember that color moves color. So you can see the reason why we're doing this is because we're pulling the other color outwards. We're pulling it in. If I went the other way, I'd be pushing it back. And that's what you can do when you feel that you might have gone too far. You can push it back. But I prefer to do it this way, because as I said again, I'm going to get more control. So I'm going to start up here now. Again. And also sometimes you use it, you'll see us doing that later, just to tone it down. You might think, oh, that's a bit too harsh. You can use the next color down or another color. We may do, I was thinking that I may do a session on how I pick color. Not so much how to use a different color on a color, but what the thinking process I go through in terms of picking a color for what I'm doing. I think that's a session of an hour in itself as well, because I don't just pick up a color and go, okay, that will do. I do look at the chart, I do try it out. As I was saying before, what I tend to do is to have the same stamp again twice. So one is my actual working one, and another one is where I try colors. So I might try it on that one, which I do. I try it on the what I call the practice one, and there's my chance to say no, I don't like it. Oh yes, I do, and then go on to the one that I want to use. So let me know if that's something that you'd like to see me to do in one of these sessions, and I'll set one up for that. The other thing is I don't worry about it drying, because I found worrying about it drying just made me want to work faster and just made me panic. So I know that it goes a tone darker, but I can live with that. It's not so bad that it's looks awful, and it dries light anyway. Maybe tone light darker, but it's good enough for me. So now I'm going to look at the deep dark areas, and I'm going to do that with the BG9. And when we're looking at this again, this area here is dark, and we want this to look as if it is, well, it is under this part of the petal that's folded over. I'm going to start down here first, and then we'll come up here. So here again, I'm going to turn it because I find it more comfortable this way, and I'm going to do the flicking motion, but you can see I'm hardly coming through to past it. And I tend to do that for the very beginning, just to get a feel for how dark this area is. And then I move upwards. And again, the flicking technique. See, I'm still turning my work around. And the other thing is you might want to start from the middle and work to the line, or you might find it easier just to work from the line across. And the good thing about doing this as well is that you can create your own extra lines. So we're going to do that, because yes, there's some lines here, but we can create some more extra detail. And you can see I'm doing the same thing. I'm not just saying to yourselves to do it. I'm going from the height and I'm going down. Don't worry about that. We're going to tone. Remember I was saying about toning it down, so I'm not going to worry about that. Try and make it as thin. There you go. That's what I was looking for. Nice and thin. And do them at different heights. Or different lengths, if you like. So I'm going to leave that like that for now. Remember, we can go over and over until you get what you like. And then sometimes you just have to walk away, let it dry, and have another look. So I'm going to turn it around, as you can see. And I'm going to start working on this area here. Instead of doing the flicking motion for here, I'm going to do some dotting and small little wiggly lines as I go along. There's not specific places where I'm going to dot, 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 or do the wiggly line. I'm just going to get a feel for it as I'm going along. So I'm going to start in this bit here. And start off with the dots. Right around the edges, as close as you can, because we want it to look underneath this shadow, so it creates depth. And you can see it looks harsh at the moment, but we'll soften that down with the 216 when we get there. We'll just finish this off there. So now what I'm going to do, again, I'm going to hold the BG9 in my hand, just in case I want to add some more, just add some more where I may have gone in too much and removed it, or I think, oh yes, I can bring that a bit forward, just to, you know, so I can play between the colors and getting them to blend more nicely. And I'm going to use the 216 now. So we're going to tone these bit down, and start moving that mid color into the middle. So I'm going to start this end again where we've always been starting, and I'm going to turn it so it's comfortable for me. And you do the same, you just turn it how it feels to you. You don't have to do it the way, turn it way I'm turning it. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to bring it out, but remember, don't go on it unless you do want to, which we're going to do up here, is soften it. So we're softening that one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it so it goes out a bit more. And remember where your dew is. What I will do once I go around again, I will show you that even if it's gone, doesn't matter, or you can faintly see it, doesn't matter, we can reignite it. And as we go along, it doesn't matter, because also, if you remember, when you see a dew on any petal or anywhere, any leaf, you can see the color underneath. So don't worry about that too much. Color moves color, so we can bring all of that back in. So I'm still using my B216 to do this. See, I'm doing the same thing. I'm sort of swinging in the air until I get down there. Ooh, let's hold it. It's moving. Stay there. There, so you see I'm starting. I like the idea of having lines in my petals, my flowers, and my my leaves and things and foliage. Some people may not. It's not right or wrong. It's your colouring. It's how you like it. But that's the reason why we're doing the lines, is because I like doing the lines, and it's just another method. So I'm turning it around now, because what I want to do is to focus now on this bit, softening the shadow that here, the shade here, with the 216, and doing the same thing as we did down here. So I'm going to start from here, because remember, you still got to think of the direction, because you don't want it going. It does show, and it's just nice to keep in the direction of where the shape is. So what I'm doing is I'm dotting over where I put the dark one, just to tone it down, and I'm pulling it out as well, just gently. So it's not as harsh. And again, the same thing. You might want to put some lines, some extra lines here, different lengths, and soften these and pull it. And here you can see I'm still, even though this looks as if it's going sort of pointing this way, I'm still thinking about the direction because of here, even though it's folding and it's sort of the direction is that way. Remember, if you go through, I'm going to go through it just to show you. Yep, there. Now for this bit, we are going to do the pickup color. So I'm holding the BG9 in my left hand, and I'm going to be using the 216 to pick up the color. So I'm picking up the color nib to nib, and I'm going to put it around here to create that shading, that shape of it sort of bending outwards or curving outwards. So you can see I'm picking it up just gently and doing the same thing, doing exactly the same thing we're doing here. You see it's a lot more softer. Again, thinking about creating short lines. I'm looking at these lines as well, the ones that's already in the drawing. So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what, I think I'd like a little bit just like here, so they sort of match, and I think I like more this color than what's going here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go in holding still my BG9 in my left hand, and I'm going to still use the same color, the 216, to pick up. So I'm just going to, I think it's a little bit too harsh. It's bringing the color down. And I will be using my 128 as well to create the lighter areas, and it will help with the ends that look a bit sharp. I'm still doing this. I feel now I'm ready to think about these areas here. So I'm going to use the pickup method. Again, doing the same thing. I'm going to be using my 216, and I'm going to keep, I'm just try and lightly put it down. Try and keep the same side and the direction of the petal. See, I'm trying as much as possible to make this line very thin. I'm turning it around. I'm going to do this bit as well. Just try and, oops, sorry. Just try and soften it here. Oop. Again, I'm not worried about that. We can make it work. There. I think I'm going to leave mine like that, so I can see. Yes, it is a beautiful colour, isn't it? I do like. I thought poppies are everywhere we see are red mostly, or sort of, you know. So I thought, let's do a blue one, because poppies do come in different colours. And I only found that out by simply looking at the poppies, different colour, just looking at poppies on the internet, doing a little search on the pictures, the images of poppies, and that's what I do. I do a research on different things, you know, the thing that I want to colour, so that I can get a feel of the shading or colours that I like, and follow that as a guide. Right, what I want to do now, just to show you, is to bring this back in so that I can see where my dew is. So I'm going to go to my dew palette, and I'm going to pick up 144. And the 144 is going to help me to just put very thin line back around where I want the dew to be. If you can't see it, don't worry, just create another one. Just do the same thing like this with the 144, and just create another one. Color moves color, so we're not going to worry about it too much. So now that I've got my dew back, so I can see where it is, I'm now going to think about the lighter areas and blending that in. And so I'm picking up my 182, which is the lighter color, and I'm going to hold in my hand my left hand the 216. And again, just in case I'm doing some areas and I feel I need to help it with the blending because it's too sharp, it's going from one color to another. So I'm going to start down here, and I'm going at the end, just on the edge, and I'm pulling that color through. See, can you see it better there? Yeah. And again, even if you, I'm going to do it as I said, just to show you, just in case, you know, if you go across again, doesn't matter. I'm really now trying to work those edges. We are going to fix this area when we create the dew, so don't worry about it too much. Just color around it the best you can. So you can see I'm going around it like this. The edging of where we put down the 144. I'm keeping on the outside of it. So we're going to be creating shading and things like that, so don't worry about it too much. And as I'm going along, if I feel that I need to blend it a bit better, so you look at your colouring and you see where you think, oh, that's a bit harsh, and you use the pickup method to soften it. Okay, so I'm just bringing that in. So now I'm going to do this area here. So again, I'm going to turn it to where it is, oops, sorry, where it is comfortable, and you do the same. And I'm going to the edge of the other color to just pull it in, and I'm going over the corner just to soften why I put down the 216. I'm just going to soften it a bit. I'm going over it, and then doing the same here. If you heard that beeping, I'm sitting in the kitchen on my dining table. I don't have a studio. That's why I am. So if you hear any sort of kitcheny beeps and things, that's why. So I'm going round. Again. So do you look at your what your colouring looks like in front of you, and you judge if you need to, oops, let me do it like this, you can still see what I'm doing, if you need to pick up. Now remember I said that I'm looking at around here being my lighter colour. So I'm going to put down the 216, and I'm going to, with my 182, I'm going to try and create more of that that lighter color or shade. So, and also when you do that, it tends to, depending on it, usually I find that it will help with the curving outwards, depending on where you put that lighter part of your coloring. So to do that, what I'm going to do is I will be doing the swiping. So again, you can see I'm doing it from above, and as soon as I see the color, I know that I've got the right pressure. And also what you might want to do is that you might think, oh, I've brought that too far in. Remember, color moves color, so you can push that in. When it dries, you will see that lighter color. I know it doesn't look as so. I show you. We use the same technique here, and you can see there's lighter areas. I'll just bring this back in. So as I was saying, between, look at your colouring, swinging from left to right, like this. And it also creates the lines I was saying that I like to see in my colouring when I do this. And see, I'm just pushing it, trying to also look out for any white bits. Make sure that my 182 covers it. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that for now. And what I'm going to do now is we can come back. As I said, you can come back, have a look at it, and if we've got time, we'll do that. So we can just sit there and do that together. So now what I want to make sure that I do get in, we've got a bit of time, which is fantastic, is to have a look at creating the dew. Now, I'm going to go back in again with my 144, our friend. And yeah, I thought that was the wrong color, so I'm telling you the right color and I'm picking up the wrong one. I had a lot of that this morning, don't know why. So I'm going to go around with the 144 again, just to very thinly, as much as possible. Doesn't matter, because you're going to see what we're going to do next. If you don't, you can see that I haven't. Okay, because what I'm going to do next is I'm going to pick up my 178 and in the middle, so you can see that there's a halo there, so I'm going to in the middle dot to soften that edge. Just going to dot on it till I feel all the way around. I'm going to do it till it sort of joins up. I know it doesn't look like it, but you know, bear with me, I promise it will. I'm going to now pick up my 83, and at this point now I'm thinking of where I want my dew drop to have a bit of shading, where I want it the same way that we think about shading here. I'm going to think about shading with the dew drop as well. So with the 83, I'm going to just create a line on the outside of where we put down the 144. So like so. And again, don't worry if you've gone over it, color moves color. You're going to see we are going to go back in with the 144 once we've done that. So I'm going to leave it like that for now. So there's my 144. And again, I'm not going to go over just yet the 83. I'm going to go in from the middle to soften the edge into where the middle of the dew is, just on that side. Okay, I won't go in with the 178 just yet. Now, remember I was saying that we need to now look at the dew drop and where we want the shading to be. So I want the shading to be down here. So what I will do then is to go back to my flower palette, and I'm going to use my middle color 216, all these numbers, 216, and I'm going to dot. Let me just turn it here. I'm going to dot around. This is where I put down the 83. I'm going to line it with my 216. Maybe just to here, not all the way, but we can change that as we're going along. Like so. And again, as we were doing before with the lighter color, it's a bit harsh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my 182, and as we did up here, I'm going to dampen it down, not too much. I'm going to dampen it down a little bit and pull it out, just as we did here. So I'm just going to turn it, and I'm going to look for where I've put the 216, and as I said, I'm going to dot it first. And then I'm going to pull it out till it softens. Not completely taken away. If you find that you have, just go back in with the 216 and put it in again, and then go back with to your 182. Okay, as you see, I think mine has come out a little bit too much, but I'm going to leave it for now. It's not too bad actually. I think I'll leave it like that. Now I'm going to go back in again with my 83, because I want to still make sure that I'm defining the shadow. So I'm going to take my 83 and turn it this way a little bit, and I'm going to look for the edging where I've put the 216 and lightly dot. As you can see, I'm lightly dotting because I want the fineness of lines just where the shadow is, not all the way around. Okay, and now we're going to work our way inwards. So 144. I'm going to first of all go in the inside. Remember, we're always working on the inside, the edge, because we want to soften it. And again, if you think, oh, it's a bit too harsh, the 83 that you've put down, go gently over it with the 144. And then over here. Gently, and I'm going to put a small line, a very thin line this side, still using the 144, just to give it some definition, like that. So now we're going to go back in with the 182. I'm just going to turn it this way. Hopefully you can see that now it's starting to look similar, look like a drop, a Drew drop. And I'm just dabbing, can you see I'm just dabbing right in the middle, right in the middle of that. And also I put in the Drew palette 1203, and I'm going to just dab a little bit on this side and use the 178 to bring it down, to tone it down. So just going to, you see I'm just doing little dots. You should be able to see it, the yellowish colour, just a little bit like so. And I'm going to go back in. So same with the 178, and just to tone it down slightly, still dotting, we're using the dotting technique or pointillism. Just to move it a little bit. You look at yours and you do what you feel fits. Okay, so I'm looking at mine. I feel that I need to go around it again with the 144. So this is what you would be doing. You just keep going till you feel that you've got the look that you want. I think I want a little bit more definition down here. I don't feel as if I've got the right definition here. So I'm going to go in with the, I know we're on time. I hope people, the sound keeps, I'm sorry. Okay. I had no idea why it's doing that. No idea. I'm not that technically. Um, hopefully it's still okay. I'll have a look. Thank you for letting me know that. I'll have a look to see if there's a reason. I'll do a little search because I can't hear myself, so I don't know. You know, I don't get a feedback or anything like that. So I'm going to go around here. I hope we're okay to go on just a little bit so we finish the dewdrop. I know we've gone over a little bit. You see, I'm just using my 83 there. And I'm going to go back into my flower palette. And I'm going to pick up the 216. And again, I'm just going to go on the outside of my 83. I might actually do some pull down like this, and then use my 182 to soften that, because I want it to really look down here as if you know, as if there really is a shadow there. So 182, and I'm going to pick up. You can see I'm still trying to, as much as possible, keep in line with there. I think I'm happy with that. That looks good. And I'm actually going to go in with my 144 just to soften it on that side rather than the 83, because I think it will make it too harsh. I just want it softer. So I'm just going to go in with the 83 like that. There. I'm happy with that for the moment. So the other thing is that, remember in there I said in the what to bring, is I've got here jelly roll. If you've got a pencil, then please wait for it to dry before doing the next step, before creating these lines. You can also wait as well for this to dry, but sometimes I just don't have the patience. I have patience sometimes, and sometimes I just want to do it. So I'm going to, I haven't done this, I haven't forgotten, is to do a line here and a line in here, like so. I'm going to just talk through this bit and show a little bit. I might, hopefully, I don't want to go too fast, even though we've gone over a little bit. So I want to, in this case here, I want to do a pickup because I don't want it to be large. So I'm going to go back to my flower palette. I'm now going to hold the 216 in one hand, and I'm going to hold the 182 in my right hand to do the actual coloring. So I'm going to turn this way so that I get the feeling of it moving in that direction. So as I said, I'm going to pick up, I'm going to be using my 182 to pick up my 216. Just going nib to nib. And I'm thinking I might want to just pull that in a little bit darker on this edge here. I'm just stroking it, and maybe down here just a little bit, just to create some more lines. I was saying you can create your own extra detail. And now I'm going to go in with my 21282 and do the stroking method. It will dry light, so don't worry.